The 2022 NHL draft gave CHL fans a little bit of everything, including 6 of the first 12 picks and 82 over the 2 days. My name is Scott Van Kunit, and it's time to unpack what happened in Montreal. And who better to help us than TSN's Director of Scouting, Craig Button. Craig, thanks for joining me again today.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. And you talk about the draft. It's such a special night for the first round picks and the next day when the rest of the draft is completed. Because really what it signifies is dreams being realized, the first steps of dreams being realized. The young players are all dreaming about playing in the NHL. Now they hear their name called out, teams saying, you're a player that we think can help us be successful in the future. And it really is such a special time for the players and their families and friends.
And what a place to get back to for the first in-person draft than Montreal and them having the first overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time, Scott. Nobody does ceremony and everything surrounding ceremony better than the Montreal Canadiens. We know how many drafts have been in Montreal. You know, we know the history of the Montreal Canadiens, the most storied hockey franchise in the world. And you know, the draft hadn't been in person since 2019, and they have the first overall pick. I mean, could you write a better script? I know I couldn't write a better script, and certainly it was an exciting time for Montreal Canadiens fans, and you couldn't ask for a better place to hold the draft.
Yeah, I agree completely. Some CHL fans might disagree a little bit. I'm thinking about the ones in Kingston. And then, so let's get right to it. And obviously, I think that's the best place to start is with your top ranked skater for the draft and Shane Wright and him going to the Seattle Kraken at 4th overall. How surprised were you with that, with him going 4th?
Well, so I will say this, you know, once I heard, I mean, Montreal Canadiens made it very clear that they were considering more than one player for the first overall pick. So, you know, once the announcement was made, you said, okay, they've made, but once you heard that they had traded for Kirby Dach, I started to believe that, hey, you know what? Now they get the big winger and now they have the big 21-year-old right shot center, which to me made total logical sense. Gets to New Jersey. They have those two centermen and Nico Hischier, who was the first overall pick, and Jack Hughes. And they kind of go, well, they're probably not looking to add another centerman. You know, I guess where maybe I was really intrigued was at 3, because I think that Shane is a terrific two-way player. Hey, Logan Cooley's good. I don't think he's as good as Shane Wright. Time will tell who's right or who's wrong. But I know that, you know, Shane Wright ending up in Seattle and talking to Ron Francis, the general manager, that night. And we got tired. I said to Ron, I said, Ron, he's got to remind you of you. And Ron goes, I played a long time ago. I said, I know, but you can remind me. Maybe other people don't remember, but I do. And he goes, Craig, he goes, we got 2 really good centermen and Shane Wright and Matty Beniers now. And he goes, if you want to be successful in this league, you need to be strong in the middle of the ice, good on the blue line, and obviously a top-notch goaltender. He says, we feel we got 2 terrific young centers that we can build around. The other thing that I thought was very, very interesting, you know, Ron said that he had spent a lot of time with Shane Wright. He said, never, ever, you know, he knew we were picking 4th. Never, ever did he say that he look at us as, why are you interviewing me? He said he engaged. He says, we asked tough questions. We really dug in on different areas of the game and wanted to hear his inputs and everything. And he goes, but he was more than open and enthusiastic about the whole process. But he said, when he came down to the table after being drafted, he said, I almost felt like a weight of the world had been lifted off his shoulders. And I thought that was very interesting. Players, Scott, over the course of their draft year, handle things differently. They all want to put their best foot forward every single night. The scrutiny that Shane has been under for a lot of years, he's performed at an exceptionally high level, but he's probably never had to deal with the criticism and, you know, oh, you know, he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that. And then certainly, you know, leading into the draft, you know, you're confident, you want to show everybody that you're confident. And then things start to, you know, unfold in a way. He did everything he could. And all I know is this, he's still a top-notch player. I love what Mitch Marner did, sending him a text message and saying, there's nothing wrong with being the 4th overall pick. I was the 4th overall pick, and we're talking about the first team all-star right wing in the National Hockey League for the past 2 seasons.